Since it first premiered on Netflix in 2020, Bridgerton has been met with enormous enthusiasm and has become a cultural phenomenon in its own right. The day before writing this review, I spotted a Bridgerton-branded Dove body wash at my local Target, a clear sign that Bridgerton is no longer just a television series, but a full-fledged brand. Yet despite the many collaborations and products bearing the logo of the famed Shondaland show, the arrival of a new season, along with the promise of a new love story, is always eagerly anticipated, with the backdrop of Regency-era England offering a pleasant form of escapism. That said, this year I didn't have particularly high expectations for Bridgerton's return, largely because I had found elements to enjoy in each of the 3 seasons released so far, from compelling themes to standout performances. My doubts weren't about the quality of the series itself, but rather whether the latest romantic lead could hold his own against the characters who came before him. Benedict Bridgerton, portrayed by Luke Thompson, is technically the family's second son, but he becomes the 4th sibling, after Daphne, Anthony, and Colin, to receive his own love story. As anyone who has spent time reading Regency romance novels will tell you, second sons tend to shy away from deep commitment, and to date, Benedict has shown little indication that he wants to settle into a truly established life. The series also hasn't had much opportunity to develop Thompson as a leading character, particularly given the need to focus on other romances. The success of the 4th season rested not only on his shoulders, but also on those of the person destined to turn Benedict's world completely upside down. Fortunately, Bridgerton's latest return breathes fresh life into the story with the introduction of a new character played by Yaren Ha. Her portrayal of Sophie Bake allows the narrative to expand beyond the wealthiest circles and explore a broader social landscape. Although the 4th season is adapted from Julia Quinn's novel An Offer from a Gentleman and draws inspiration from the classic Cinderella fairy tale, the resulting upstairs-downstairs romance between the 2 leads makes Bridgerton an even stronger version of itself.
What is Bridgerton Season 4 about?
As previously mentioned, Benedict Bridgerton has no intention of settling down or committing himself to a single place or person. Over the past 3 seasons, he has favored a freer lifestyle. Despite his past relationships, he bristles at the idea of being labeled a catch. His mother, Violet, however, never misses an opportunity to push any of her children toward marriage. The Bridgertons' upcoming masquerade ball presents the perfect chance for her eldest unmarried son to find a suitable match. Benedict arrives late, dressed in a lackluster costume, fully expecting an unremarkable evening. That all changes when he encounters a mysterious woman dressed in silver. Though their time together is brief, she leaves a lasting impression on him. After their magical moments together, the woman disappears at midnight, leaving behind only a glove as she flees. Armed with nothing but the details of their conversation, Benedict becomes obsessed with this beautiful stranger. He resolves to find her somehow. But tracking her down proves nearly impossible because she is not a member of the upper class. The woman in silver is actually Sophie Beck, a maid who attended the Bridgertons' masquerade ball for one night only. By the next morning, she must return to her domestic duties and to serving the needs of her stepmother, Lady Araminta Gunn, and her stepsisters, Rosamund and Posey. For Sophie, crossing paths with a well-dressed, handsome gentleman is an act of rare bravery, one she knows she can never repeat, as her stepmother is actively searching for any excuse to cast her out of the house. Other members of the Bridgerton family, both near and far, are grappling with their own challenges. After revealing herself as Lady Whistledown, Penelope may be content in her marriage, but she struggles to balance her familial responsibilities with Queen Charlotte's relentless appetite for gossip. Eloise Bridgerton, another sibling of marriageable age, finds herself at odds with her younger sister Hyacinth because she has little interest in enjoying the social season, while Hyacinth is genuinely eager to make her debut. Francesca appears happy with her new husband, John Sterling, yet privately finds herself struggling to cross a certain threshold in their most intimate moments. Meanwhile, Violet Bridgerton, the family matriarch, has begun to develop feelings for Lady Danbury's brother Marcus and is unsure whether she should finally allow herself to pursue a romance of her own. The upstairs-downstairs romance makes Bridgerton better in Season 4.
Because Bridgerton is a period romance, it wouldn't be wrong to describe it as a comforting viewing experience. Historical romances, by their very nature, tend to exist within a fantasy removed from the harsher realities of their time, and there is something deeply appealing about getting lost in a world that bears little resemblance to our own. Yet amid the show's lavish balls, elegant period costumes, and vitamin string quartet renditions of modern pop songs, Bridgerton has often failed to give sufficient attention to the background characters who make the social season possible. That changes in Season 4, where servants are finally given more focus, with some stepping into the foreground of the narrative. Sophie, who has spent most of her life outside the ton, occupies a position markedly different from those in previous Bridgerton stories. She also allows the audience to view this world from an entirely new angle, lending the series a refreshing jolt of energy. At first glance, Bridgerton's existing working-class characters appear largely content in their roles. The Bridgertons' maid, Mrs. Wilson, for example, has no interest in working for another household. The situation is quite different for Mrs. Varley, who works for the Featherington family. As each of Portia's daughters leaves home to start families of their own, Lady Featherington finds herself increasingly alone, able to confide only in her servant. Varley, however, grows less willing to accept what Portia refers to as gifts, such as her cast-off dresses, because what she truly desires is a raise. This storyline runs parallel to the rising tension between Lady Danbury and the Queen, as Agatha begins to express a desire to live a life beyond royal service, causing fractures in their long-standing friendship. Sophie's circumstances are even more precarious. Her stepmother begins to suspect that Sophie is behaving in ways she deems inappropriate for a servant, leading to one of the biggest surprises of Bridgerton's 4th season. Katie Leung delivers a striking and layered performance as Lady Araminta Gunn, gradually revealing new dimensions over the course of 4 episodes and culminating in one of the season's most dynamic scenes. Sophie and her stepmother's relationship is shaped by a shared grief, though Araminta would never admit it, and Leung's commanding portrayal elevates the character beyond the familiar wicked stepmother trope rooted in classic fairy tales. While Sophie's stepsisters appear less developed in the first half of the season, an unexpected turn for the family at the end of episode 4 hints that there is much more to come when the next chapter unfolds.
Bridgerton Season 4 is at its best in Episode 1.
After 3 seasons, expectations for Bridgerton have never been higher. While the split-season release model may not immediately entice new viewers, the truth is that the first 4 episodes rank among the strongest the series has ever produced, thanks in large part to its new leading lady. Yaren Ha shines as Sophie Bank, striking a careful balance between wide-eyed innocence about the secrets of high society and a clear-eyed realism about the social boundaries of her own class. Her journey this season is defined by a tension between what is expected of her and the small glimmers of hope she allows herself to imagine beyond that role. As a result, it's easy to understand why Benedict falls in love with her. Luke Thompson reveals dimensions of Benedict that were only hinted at in previous seasons, delivering a more emotionally nuanced portrayal than the version found in the novels, though this does little to soften the character's painful tendency toward detachment. When the series finally allows him to fully inhabit the role of a charming romantic lead, Thompson delivers his strongest work yet. The season offers moments that feel poised to rival Anthony's iconic lake scene in Season 2, as well as echoes of Colin gently straightening Penelope's dress after the carriage scene in Season 3. As expected, Thompson is at his best when sharing the screen with his new co-star. After the masquerade ball, Benedict and Sophie repeatedly cross paths, and because he doesn't know her true identity, a compelling dynamic of romantic tension and longing emerges between Thompson and Ha. This slow build ultimately leads Benedict to stop fixating on the woman in silver and begin imagining a relationship that exists outside the bounds of tradition. In the past, Bridgerton has struggled to balance its central romance with the many supporting storylines orbiting it. Fortunately, Season 4 builds on the improved narrative strategy established last season, devoting ample time to who Benedict and Sophie are as individuals and how their relationship evolves. Each episode runs longer than an hour, which may feel excessive to some viewers, but because the series is also laying romantic groundwork for the next 2 seasons, this choice ultimately benefits most of the ensemble cast. It also ensures that fan-favorite moments from the books receive the attention they deserve. Beyond the main couple, several secondary romances are given thoughtful emphasis. Francesca and John offer a fresh perspective on postmarital intimacy, while Violet's decision to take her relationship with Marcus to the next level introduces a more mature vision of romance. Still, as the cast continues to grow each season, some characters feel increasingly sidelined, lacking meaningful development, perhaps signaling that it may be time for them either to exit the story or step into larger roles. Despite these minor shortcomings, Season 4 raises the bar for Bridgerton. Yaren Ha's compelling debut performance, the show's increased focus on one of the most overlooked classes in Regency drama, and its renewed commitment to the arduous journey toward a happy ending, the very reason audiences return again and again, all contribute to this success. No one yet knows how Benedict and Sophie's romance will unfold in the final 4 episodes, but Part 1 concludes on an exhilarating note that leaves viewers eager for more.